Namaskar, I'm Ashok Vyas, Inside Connect. The Ashok Vyas starts right now. And now that we are just 1 week away from the special day, next Tuesday by this time, everybody has done their duty of casting the vote. And this time around 26 million people have already cast early votes. Why people are eager to cast their vote? Analysts say that people want to do away with this election process, and they are so much up here with the process, they want to move on with their lives. So something that is happening in this election cycle is perhaps holding people's attention too much, and it is diverted from what they really want to do, that is to live and to create and to produce and to perform and to make the country America great. When I say make America great again, we are reminded of Donald Trump, this being the catch line with which he is reaching out to voters, and many things have happened. 2 weeks ago we felt that Trump is gone, and then again there are waves which are swinging voters' mind in favor of Trump. What has happened? What is going to happen, and who should be the commander-in-chief down the line? To understand the flow of events, thought process, emotional ups and downs of voters, we have the pleasure of the presence of esteemed panelist, Professor A.D. Amar. I welcome you. You are the president of Indian Americans for Trump, and you have come all the way from New Jersey to enlighten us. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Someone who served with U.S. Army and also worked at White House with Obama administration, ex-U.S. Air Force personnel, now in the field of finances, Nishant Roy, Hillary supporter, with us. Namaste. Welcome, sir. Thank you very much.
Good to be here.
And then we need a voice which brings both sides from the perspective of a common man. And yesterday, due to some technical reasons, we couldn't continue the flow of our conversation. I have the pleasure of the presence of Executive Director of South Asians for Empowerment, Jagjit Singh ji. Welcome. So now, before we get to that which is the decisive factor for you to cast your vote, I will have Nishant and Professor Amar share with all of us, do they see some significant change in past week or 10 days after FBI mentioned about reviewing some emails that are related to Secretary of State Clinton? So you want to open up?
Okay. I think these emails have really recharged this issue. We had known server was used, we had known emails had been there, but we never knew to what extent they were used. And then we also knew abruptly Bill Clinton intervened, and the Department of Justice through FBI decided to close the inquiry. Investigation was closed, and they said, well, we found there was extreme carelessness, but not enough to charge Secretary Clinton for any criminal violation. So that's how it ended. But this new revelation that they found out because of Anthony Weiner's involvement with a 15-year-old girl in North Carolina, while it was more like serendipity. They weren't looking for Hillary Clinton's involvement, but Anthony Weiner did something, and they found out there are, initially they said there are thousands of emails. But then as Democratic leadership and Hillary campaign started to complain, FBI said there are 650,000 emails that we found, and they said we searched by looking at the ending statedepartment.gov, And just by statedepartment.gov, we got so many emails, that hundreds of thousands emails, and then we said we have to do it. And that is how Comey decided that he will have to come out and make a statement to the public, because if he didn't do and something serious came out later on, it could have put him in a big debacle.
Okay, let me come back to you, because you have been very helpful in helping our viewers understand what is at stake at the moment. But this is unprecedented. It has never happened. And just before the presidential election, if something which is not substantiated, so exactly he doesn't know if there is something which may be potentially suggesting something negative about Secretary of State, but he came out, made this statement. Just the fact that he has done it, it is not being appreciated by Democratic Party, and of course Clinton campaign called on and has asked him to be open and put everything on the table. You want to take it from there in terms of the timing when this announcement has come?
Sure. When the FBI director sent across his note to members of Congress, he let them know that they were going to be reopening a portion of this investigation because they had found what is metadata, not necessarily emails by state.gov or anything like that. They looked at metadata, which means that they basically know who sent it, from, and then to. And from there, they said, oh, there's a significant amount of emails here that could be related to the Hillary Clinton case, but they were all originated predominantly by Huma Abedin, who's the estranged wife of Congressman Weiner. Once the Congress was notified that they are going to be looking at this again, both Democrats and Republicans actually have gotten to be pretty upset about the way the FBI director has handled it. They would have liked more transparency in the process to understand why he did what he did. Both attorney generals of the Bush administration and the Obama administration, Eric Holder and Alberto Gonzales, have come out publicly and said that FBI Director Comey is a man of integrity. We believe in the process. However, the way that the FBI director has handled this situation was done poorly. It could have been done by the FBI director simply going to the committees and letting them know verbally that we're going to be looking at this a little bit further in detail, and not necessarily causing a lot of ambiguity in the system. And that's why I think you are seeing some sort of effect from the emails and polls today, is because there's a lot of ambiguity. No one knows, no one can specifically characterize what's in these emails and how damaging it could be for Clinton, or how it could be nothing. What the campaign is saying is that because they've gone thoroughly through Secretary Clinton's emails back in before July, through a number of different processes, that they don't see any emails. This is probably more of a redundancy of those emails where Huma was copied or Huma originated a message. So we're not expecting that there's going to be anything out there that's going to be a big red flag. So
maybe there's no red flag, but the way people's perception changes, it has emotional quotient there, and especially just a week before the election, and connected with the image of Hillary Clinton in the light of the WikiLeaks and then other issues. Jagjit ji, if you look at the emotional side with which those who are somewhere in between, whether they would go for Trump or Hillary, they are still undecided. So how this works for them?
I will try to look at the whole issue through a layman's perspective, how a common man would view it. See, the common man heard a year back there is some issue about emails, and what the common man also heard was Hillary Clinton is not releasing the emails. So had Hillary Clinton released all the emails at that point of time, the issue was finished. But because she did not, the issue prevailed, and somehow it went on, and even 1 week before, we are hearing about the same email issue, whatever it is. Now, let us go back and see what happened in July. When in July, the FBI director came in and said, she has done wrong, she has lied, everything is on record that she told false, when the statements were made, he said to the Congress that yes, she has lied on certain counts, but yes, still he feels that a case cannot be done there. All Democrats praised the director, all Republicans criticized the director. Now, 1 week down the road, he has opened up the case. All Democrats, suddenly the man is bad. All Republicans, suddenly the man is good. And the White House has taken a media line that that man is of integrity. So yes, the man is of integrity. If the man is of integrity, perhaps his actions are correct, whatever he has done. So both the campaigns, whether it's the Hillary campaign, the Democratic Party campaign, or the Republican Party's campaign, should not be whining about it.
Okay.
They should appreciate that yes, somehow or the other, justice is being done. This is how a common man feels about it.
Okay, now the way Trump campaign people and Trump feels about it, they are definitely very, very excited and jubilant that this gives them additional ammunition, if I use the word ammunition, or a way to forcefully reach out to the voters and make their case. And probably they are doing it fine based on the polls.
Right. I think first I like to address to the question from Nishan. If Comey had thought there was not enough in it, he would not have made this announcement. So, like Jagdish said, there is integrity, and even Obama, White House said Comey has integrity. He did not oppose what Comey did. He also did not condone what Comey did. So he let it up to Comey. So I would not simply say there is nothing and he brought out this issue to revive it or be partisan behavior. That's not true. Now, with regard to the polls, definitely this was a big question hanging on Hillary. Like Jagdish said, why did they not bring it out in the beginning and let people know? Even John Podesta in March wrote a memo, including Arabi Mook and the campaign team. It said, just dump this server and everything is there. Now, Democratic Party is interpreting dump it as release it to the public. Dump could also mean really dump like destroy it or like bleach it, like
this
whatever.
This is a conspiracy theory here.
Whatever. So the people who had been really in the wings thinking which way should they go, they really are now coming out. And Trump has not been in a better situation to win this election than today. Throughout this election, throughout this campaign, he was underdog. Today, for the first time, ABC and Washington Post poll puts him a point ahead of Hillary. Never happened. And on Sunday, CBS poll came out that put Trump 1 point behind Hillary. So in 2 days, people are making up their minds. Although some surveys tell about 5% people are those who, 5% Democrats have said they have changed their mind. But when you look at Democrats that make almost 60 some odd percent of the voters, 5% is a tremendous number. And that is why this shift is occurring.
Okay, so Nishant, you have heard Hillary talk about this issue again and again in many of her speeches, and it becomes a kind of responsibility of the candidate to assuage people's suspicion, take care of whatever their concerns are. That includes this also. So she mentions again and again that you must have heard about this, but there is nothing, and everything is clean, etc., etc. But are people buying it? How do you see the impact? Is it the kind of impact which Clinton would have liked to see amongst potential voters?
Well, I think we're seeing it in the polls right now, right? That Professor correctly mentioned that the Washington Post ABC poll has Trump up by 1 point, which isn't within the margin of error. But what we do know is that this is having some sort of effect adversely to the candidate. And it's largely because folks don't know what's going on. There was very little description as to why they were doing what they were doing in this investigation. And Senator Grassley, who is a Republican, actually even made comments he wrote a letter to the FBI administrator and let him know that while he understands that he had to make this an announcement, he still believes that there should have been additional detail to make it more transparent as to why they were doing it, because this is unprecedented, as you mentioned early on.
And Jagdish, I'll come to you with another reference which has potentially worked in a negative manner for Clinton. That relates to Donna Brazil.
Yeah, I was coming to that.
Yeah. So there is again another revelation of sort. She earlier denied that there was any sort of a communication from the CNN sources by her to the Clinton campaign, but looks like before the debate she shared verbatim the questions which were going to be asked. Now that is also working not in favor of Clinton.
See, Mane, I was astonished to hear that as part of the WikiLeaks revelations, because up till now what we have been hearing is that in India during the exam season questions are leaked. So this was a phenomena related to examinations in India, and particularly from my state. I belong to Bihar, where this phenomena used to happen. And we carried a bad name about it. But now here in the United States, and that even of the Democratic Party, one of the largest parties in the United States, debate questions are leaked. This, see, it's not only the perception of question being leaked, it is also a perception of the integrity of the candidate. If the questions are leaked to me and I am a candidate, what is my morality? What does morality suggest to me? And if I am to vote tomorrow and I am to vote a person whom I would regard in the highest esteem as the commander-in-chief, would I have such a person there? So, this is how a common man thinks, and his vision is perplexed. Then again, what also the common man thinks.
Actually, this gives validity to Trump's claim election is rigged. This happened twice with Donna Brazil, 2 times. So obviously, if you are here working for CNN and then you slid question, and she even said this person is going to come, she has speckles on her face or pimples on her face, and she is going to ask you a question about lead in water, and this is how you should handle. I mean, this was today's WikiLeaks release, and it has been all over. They actually pulled out the question and the email going from Donna Brazil.
Okay, so there are 2 things that I have in mind, and I'll let you speak, and Nishant also need to respond. But one, I find it quite difficult to understand that WikiLeaks is consistently releasing some of these documents which either are classified or at least they are property of some people. And now I'm not speaking on behalf of Clintons, but it could happen to anybody. So why don't we have such privacy measures in place which would prevent this from happening? Because this is just like a month ago or something. So that means there is no sense of privacy, and
anywhere.
We as Americans, now let's go beyond party politics, whether it is Democrats or Republicans. So this is something which is happening just a month ago. If somebody can hack and take that away, so that is something which administration need to address from that point of view also. So your take on this.
First, I want to say on the Donna Brazil issue, let's just look at the facts of how this all transpired. First off, this is not new to politics. All right, Donna Brazil was the vice chair of the Democratic National Committee when she signed up to be a CNN commentator. She was on a contract. Now, if we want to criticize Donna Brazil for also doing her DNC duties, which is what CNN was fully aware of, frankly, at the end of the day, then we should also be looking very critically at Corey Lewandowski, who's also a commentator for CNN. he's very much a contributor and former campaign advisor, if not chair, of the Trump campaign. He's openly given advice and he's consistently communicating with the Trump campaign. So how do we know if Corey Landowski is not doing the same thing?
Many people may be stealing, but a person who is caught, only he is a thief.
And then,
and is that fair?
But
is that fair?
No.
It is. I'm not taking the side either of Clinton or of Trump.
Nishant.
But again, this is a repetition. See, before Donna Brazil, you had Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Why did she have to resign? Because she was completely, siding with one candidate, and she maneuvered somehow or the other for the defeat of Bernie Sanders.
But the person
No,
to blame
no,
there
I
is,
have a
not-
question,
is
Nishant.
Debbie Wasserman Schultz and not Hillary Clinton.
Nishant, why are you bringing in Corey
They were
Lewandowski?
influenced. It was just because of Hillary Clinton that she was doing it.
One
If
person
I am, see, if
doesn't have that
I
kind of
am, if
influence.
I am somebody who has, integrity within me, I would say don't do it. If I had done that,
It's okay.
don't do it. It would have been something good.
So if Hillary Clinton came up to you and said, "Hey, share with me the questions ahead of time,"
I would not.
You would not, because you have a moral integrity. Whereas Debbie Wasserman Schultz didn't have the integrity to follow through. But you cannot blame
But-
Hillary Clinton for the same thing.
See,
You just answered your own question.
The
Okay,
person
allow me
Hillary
to-
asking
yeah.
for those things
Before-
was not good.
Yeah, before Professor,
She didn't ask.
Yeah, before,
There's
I
no
have a question
email in
for-
WikiLeaks that says that she asked for these questions.
We can't settle this, but I'm surprised.
No, but there's no
you are-
email. You've seen the WikiLeaks.
Yeah.
And we've all seen the WikiLeaks.
But I'm
There's
surprised
no
you
email that
brought
Hillary
in
Clinton asked for this.
Corey Lewandowski.
Right.
Has anyone come up or anyone knows?
Because
or has
the
said
Russians are not
that he-
hacking the Republican accounts.
No.
The Russians are not.
No, that is.
You tell me. You look at the WikiLeaks. Have you seen
Nishant,
any single
Nishant,
Republican that's
this
been
is
attacked?
This is how you muddy the water, confuse the issues.
Tell
And
me, how so?
Look at one person is caught stealing. They say everybody steals. They are all thieves. So don't just blame me.
No,
But this
the
is
way
exactly
you
what
look
has
at Clinton, and
Sure.
maybe there are many people who are following her and they want her to be in the White House, they are ready to ignore a lot of properly founded or not properly founded ideas, which puts her in sort of box where you start judging her. So in this case, whether Hillary Clinton accepted those papers or those questions or not, whether she asked Donna Brazil, don't do this, this is unethical or not, that hasn't come in the open domain. Neither has been any statement to my knowledge from Hillary Clinton referring to this particular thing and saying that I didn't get it or I said no or either way. So that continues to make people think that something inappropriate
Has happened.
has happened.
So when you look at a presidential campaign, or any campaign for that matter, you've worked on in administrations and whatnot, when you prepare briefing papers for a principal, that for them to go speak and rehearse and look at their lines, they don't say, "Oh, where did you get this information from?" or "Where did you get that information from?" They just want to know if it can be backed up. Are there sources that can support this argument? They don't say, "Oh, did you get the debate question from CNN? Did you get the debate question from Donna Brazil or any of these other things?" So when Hillary Clinton or any of these other principals, Democrat or Republican, they're just getting a briefing sheet and they get talking points. So for her to go and question and ask what the source was of every single piece is a little bit ludicrous.
I'll agree with you on that factor. But the point is, how does a layman view it? The layman, when this kind of a leak is put out, that she was passed the question, the layman thinks, "Oh, this is wrongdoing." See, that is the perception you have to carry. A leader has to carry the perception also of an honest person.
That is what is reflecting in the latest polls.
Yeah, that is
but,
what is
but,
happening.
But now, after the break, we'll talk about the issues and the position which Hillary and Trump has on certain issues, especially related to immigration, especially related to Obamacare, based on the time that we have. But before we get to the break, any
Yes.
additional?
I believe this last revelation of the emails by Jim Comey is really is like the last piece on a structure of corruption that had been continuing with regard to these issues. How can a person like Bill Clinton stop a plane that is ready to take off on the runway and have the gate opened and walk up to the plane and spend 39 minutes talking with the Attorney General? Doesn't that sound like
You're muddying the
hanky-panky?
waters. You're muddying the waters.
Hanky-panky? No, he stopped the plane to ask, how are your kids doing? And my kids are doing fine, and we grandparents and grandchildren. That's not what happened. People,
How do you know? Were you there?
I wasn't, but that's what I'm telling. People make out what happened.
That is what is perception.
This is why this was the last piece that came on. They said, now build everything, and they corrupt. They are all corrupt.
And this is the Trump idea of, this is how they could develop their facts, is because they make up stories, and it's all conspiracy theories, because they have no
Okay,
sources
fine.
to back
Agreed,
that up.
agreed.
It's all perception.
Agreed. We don't know what happened in that plane. But do you think a plane that was ready to take off on the runway is stopped for Bill Clinton to come and have it opened and go in the plane and spend 39 minutes talking about what? And then 3 days later, the investigation is closed.
She actually came out publicly and said that I'm going to recuse myself from entering into any of this and defer to the FBI director fully on all of this,
okay.
which is why you see him in the news
Fine.
today and not the Attorney
Fine.
General.
Very, very good. But now when Jim Comey came out and he said, we are opening, now Attorney General says, Department of Justice says, we told him don't,
Sure.
but he didn't listen to us. And he did.
And Alberto Gonzales, who was the Attorney General for George W.
Alberto
Bush,
Gonzales
also
can
is
do it,
against
Eric Holder can
and
do
Eric
it.
Holder is against
They
it.
are not in office, so
Exactly.
they are gone.
Exactly. But what my point is that both Republicans and Democrats have disagreed with the way the man is executed.
So
on this.
now before we get to the break, just this reference of FBI director, what might have guided him? Is there something that you can imagine?
So again, we don't know. We're complete. Both of us, all three of us, are right now just speculating. But what I suspect has happened, having been in the federal government, I work very closely with folks in the FBI, and what they described to me is what likely happened is that they looked at the metadata. So they looked at Huma Abedin's laptop. They were able to locate a number of emails, and so metadata here, it doesn't give you the content of what's on the email. It just tells you sending who is from and then to. And there was enough significant amount of emails there that they thought it could be relevant to the Hillary Clinton investigation.
They did
So
say,
now I'll take this opportunity, Jagji, to sort of get to the break, and there is much more that we want to talk about
Just one
related to
small
30
point
seconds.
here.
Okay.
See, what I am looking at is the emails might have some classified information, may not have some classified information. But how come if it has some classified, even if one, how come the laptop was with Anthony Weiner, who had nothing to do with anything?
Okay, don't respond to it now because we don't have time right now. But
That is the worry.
we will try to talk and take care of few more important issues which would help us in making up our mind on 8th November to decide who should we vote for. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back. You're watching Inside Train of the Show, guys, and we are having a very heated debate about path to presidency, where we talked about the issues that has gripped the attention of the nation related to emails, and email leaks are continuously resulting into some sort of uproar from media to people to politicians. And now if we try to see the candidate beyond the smoke screen which covers their true personality, it becomes very difficult. Emotionally, sometimes we felt people are so much detached and away from Donald Trump because of the audio leak. Gradually, that seems to have gone away, and they are again rallying behind him, as is shown by the polls. And we still hear Hillary Clinton in her speeches devoting substantial amount of time to remind us voters about how he's unfit, unqualified to become a president, and he doesn't have that temperament. So keeping that point aside, looking at the time limitation, and moving to you now, Nishant, what are the potentially strong features which would draw undecisive voters towards Hillary at the moment?
Sure. I think that there are two big issues that really just go down to the layperson's perspective. One is the economy. What's in it for them in this new economy? We've seen, we as a community, as a country, have bounced from a deficit and a recession in 2008, where we had unemployment rate at about 10 or plus percent. And it is now down to about 4.7%. Our economy, GDP, was negative for 2 months in a row, which is why we had a recession. And then now currently the numbers are showing that we're at about 2.9% growing. So a lot of the issues that President Obama had moved forward and the initiatives are being carried forward by Secretary Clinton. But what she's really doing is targeting the folks that have been left behind. So you look at the coal industry, you look at folks in manufacturing. A lot of jobs were moved either overseas, or there was automation that took place in a lot of the factories. And so Secretary Clinton is targeting a lot of those job routes for retraining and getting them back into the workforce. She's also promoting greener jobs, which is going to change the dynamic of how we do business and make ourselves more energy independent. And then finally, on foreign policy, she was, as Secretary of State, she built alliances that have brought Iran to the table to do the Iran nuclear agreement. She's worked with military alliances.
Yeah, let me hold you here, and let's talk a little bit about economic side, and then we'll go to foreign side. And when we talk about economy, and we'll keep Obamacare aside, Professor, respond to the ideas that you heard from Nishant about Hillary's offer and what is different from Trump.
It is now the 8th year of recession. No recession has really lasted that long. They will say from Obama administration, but we have, it's by the way 5% now, it went up, unemployment rate is at 5%. So 5 or 4.7 or 4.9 is okay, it's not that much. The question is, these unemployment rates don't mean much. They only show who is in the labor market looking for job. But there is a core rate of unemployment which some measure tell is like 20%, 18%, and that is very large. Okay, if these numbers look so good for the economy, just a second. Sorry. And if these numbers are so good, then why are we in such a bad shape as a country? Our poverty rate is 45 million, food stamps people are 47 million, people working 2, 3 in a family and they still can't pay their bills. That means economy has really not recovered. And I also would like to ask our president and ask President Obama, what have you done to improve the economy? Economy, whatever has happened to the economy, is a natural economic phenomenon that occurs. Obama did nothing, absolutely nothing.
I wouldn't agree with that somehow.
No, I want to know.
Whether
Nishant is sitting here. Tell me, what did Obama administration do? Obama do to help the economy?
He may. Sorry.
He will say, "Oh, we build infrastructure."
You may have some answers, but I want you to be brief because he has done a lot and he has probably taken many initiatives. But before your response, let me take one call. Hello, ITV Live.
Oh, hi. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
My name is Dr. Verma.
Yes, doctor.
I'm calling from New York. I would like to just point out one thing. This election is really very stressful, not only to the voters, but the way the candidates are behaving to each other. today, if you can see the Hillary Clinton, she's not talking about the issues. She's moving with Mercado to show that Donald Trump disrespects women. I can't understand this. And both the candidates, they are behaving such a way which we have all witnessed in India. And this is something which is, we all should remember how things are being conducted by both of them. And when we go to the polling booth, we should vote accordingly. And we should understand what will bring the change.
Sorry to interrupt you. Would you like to share who would you be voting for?
Well, I just now gave you indirectly the reply that we all need change. Enough is enough. And for a change, the person who is talking about the change, we all know. So you can very well understand now.
I did. I appreciate your call, sir. You want to say something?
Yes.
Yeah.
What Dr. Verma said is really a syndrome of many American voters. He did not dare say, I will vote for Trump. And this is why all these polls are faulty.
No, he's a polished...
I'm actually telling you, there are many people I know personally and I know from various contexts. They will, if someone comes near them and they are going to vote for Trump and ask them who will you vote for, he will not talk and move away. They will not participate. When phone calls are made by robocalls to ask people whom will they vote for, the Trump supporters don't want to pick up that.
Can I have a little better connection? Looks like I'm not getting good sound.
I think through the TV should be better.
Actually, you can hear us through television.
Yes.
Yeah. But I think I appreciate your call. We'll continue with where you have guided us to move. And Nishan, I want your take on his perception. And I also heard Clinton live today, and I noticed the substantial amount of her expression was devoted to similar references which we have heard starting from the audio leak and how insulting he has been to women, how disrespectful. And those things 2 weeks ago were resonating with people, and there was an emotional upheaval of sort against Trump. Now it is not as powerful, and I'm surprised because I see people's perception changing.
The public's memories is very short when it comes down to these things. But here's why it's important. Why does she keep bringing up the Mercado? Why does she keep bringing up the statements that he said about Mexicans? Why is she bringing up the statements that he said about Muslim Americans?
Gold Star family.
The Gold Star families. I mean, it's just a multitude of issues that this man said that a Mexican judge can't do his job because he's Mexican. The reason why this is important is what happens on November 9th. And then more importantly, what happens January when he or she is actually sworn into office. Your job is to unite the country. And when your job is to unite the country, you can't be alienating people, and you have to exercise some level of moral authority here.
So
your job is to unite everybody.
Absolutely. So on that issue of uniting, I would have your comments, but let me take one more call.
Okay.
Hello, ITV Live. Hello, can you hear us?
Hello, yes.
Yeah, hi. What's your name?
I will not tell my name, but I will give the comments.
Please go ahead.
Shall I give on phone?
Yeah.
हाँ?
हाँ बोलें. टीवी का वॉल्यूम कम कर दें.
नहीं, मेरा टीवी का वॉल्यूम तो मैं कम कर दूंगी.
हाँ, वो कम कर दें.
पर you will be on me on the phone.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. ये भाई साहब जो आपके इधर बैठे हैं, क्या बोलूं, दाएं बैठे हैं.
कौन से वाले भाई साहब, बड़े वाले कि छोटे वाले?
बड़े वाले.
बड़े वाले.
दाढ़ी वाले
ये कह रहे हैं जी फूड स्टैम्प्स का वो लोगों ने झूठ बोल के भी फूड स्टैम्प्स ली हुई हैं. आपको मालूम है? और फिर कई लोग जो ड्रग खाते हैं, ये वो होमलेस बने हुए, उन्होंने अपना लाइफस्टाइल ऐसा ही चुना हुआ है. आपको ये भाई साहब जो है ये बात करते हैं
जी.
को ये पता होना चाहिए कि जो लाइफस्टाइल उन्होंने, जब उनको गवर्नमेंट देती है पैसे और झूठ बोलते हैं बीच में, सब बेनिफिट लेते हैं, तो उनको क्या दिमाग खराब है जो काम करेंगे?
आपकी बात बिल्कुल
और
ठीक
दूसरा
है।
ये कि जो लोग ड्रग खाते हैं या जिनका काम करने का मन ही नहीं है, उन्होंने अपना लाइफस्टाइल ऐसा बना लिया हुआ है, वो होमलेस कहलाते हैं। उनको भी पता है कि गवर्नमेंट खाएगी, गवर्नमेंट अपना ध्यान करेगी।
एक मिनट, वो आपको रिस्पॉन्ड करना चाहते हैं, पर उससे पहले आप मुझे बताएं कि आप ट्रम्प के फेवर में हैं कि हिलरी के फेवर में?
ये इसकी फेवर मत पूछिए, ये तो पर्सनल
ये तो पता लग गया।
ये बस अलग है, ठीक है।
मैं आपको ये जो कहता है, अब ये बात पता नहीं, ये जो बाहर की जो कंट्रीज हैं उनके भी जो एलाइज जो हैं हमारे, वो भी इसको नहीं चाहते हैं, ये ट्रम्प को।
बिल्कुल। तो
ये जो बातें करता है कि हम इलीगल को निकालेंगे, वो मुझे करेंगे, सब ये कहने की बातें हैं। और बाद में जब ये एंटर होगा तो सारे वर्ल्ड को है ये भरोसा है इस पे, हिलरी पे, वो किसी और पे नहीं है, वो वर्ल्ड को बनाए रखेगी।
चलिए, आपकी
मुझे ये मालूम, मैं ये नहीं कहना चाहती कि मैं हिलरी को वोट दूंगी या ट्रम्प को।
आपने कह दिया, लेकिन ये तो
नहीं, आप ये समझ लो, जो मर्जी समझ लो।
आप वोट दे सकते हैं कि नहीं?
ये है कि ये पागल है भी, इसको सिवाय बिल्डिंग कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बनाने के और कुछ।
चलिए, आपकी बात पूरी हम तक पहुंच गई, धन्यवाद है आपको। अब मैं प्रोफेसर साहब आपको रिस्पॉन्ड करना चाहता हूँ।
It's fine. See, I can understand her question and I empathize with her statement. There are always people who lie and who unwittingly do things that will bring them in the food stamp or among the welfare and all that. But that has been going on all along. So as a percent, we know a certain fraction of people are not deserving and they are included. But
actually,
that's always
this reference of lying is reaching to both candidates in different ways. But
yes,
if, with your permission,
I would like to know. I like to know, where did Trump lie? Give me one lie.
He
Trump
would be
has
able
made.
to help us on that.
Give me, Dishant.
I
like to hear.
Okay,
where did Trump lie?
Okay, Professor.
I can tell you.
Let me.
He's not very articulate. He makes statements sometimes, and then people interpret in a flexible way. He'll make a statement, and people will just take it whichever they want. But I can tell you, Trump is a very honest person.
Oh.
He's a very nice person.
See, in this age,
if the only thing, wait, the only thing.
When you are saying he's a very nice person, I hear
let
the
me
words that
finish
you
my
said.
statement, please. The only thing on which people are raising question on him is his taxes. And in taxes, if he had cheated the IRS would have been after him. 1990, they are talking about, oh, he claimed $976 million in losses. Okay, he went through IRS.
You answered the question, has he ever lied? So if
Okay.
you have any quick answer, tell him.
Sure. This is a very important one to me, having served in Iraq. Donald Trump lied about the fact that he did support the war. It's in audio, it's on video. He said that I supported the war in Iraq, and then later on he decided to be a revisionist and say, oh yeah, no, I didn't support it at all from the very beginning.
That is also
We-
revision. And he did not support the war. When the war had occurred, then he said, now war has occurred, I am going to support the war.
And if you ask Donald Trump today, he said, I never ever said that I supported the war.
No, this is his statement, quote unquote.
This is on every debate it's been brought
This
up.
is
In
quote
every debate he's
unquote.
denied ever saying that he supported the
Professor
war.
Amar, there is one Politico.com such
I know.
website which has given statistics about how many times he lied. And whether they are lying or not, I don't know, but that statistics quite
look
high.
at-
Let me take one more
Okay.
call. Hello, ITV Live.
हेलो
Yeah, hi.
अच्छा जी, कैसे हैं आप?
बिल्कुल आनंद है, आप कैसे हैं?
मैं बिल्कुल ठीक हूँ।
जी, फरमाएं।
जो भाई साहब हैं आपके साथ बैठे हुए हैं,
जी, प्रोफेसर अमर।
उनसे क्वेश्चन करना मांगता हूँ।
हाँ, बोले साहब। अमर साहब,
हाँ जी,
फरमाएं साहब। थोड़ा वक्त का तकाजा है।
ये जो कह रहे हैं कि ओबामा जी ने 8 साल में कुछ नहीं किया, नथिंग।
मैंने ये नहीं कहा।
मानता हूँ, बड़े बुश साहब से जो सीनियर बुश थे, उन्होंने क्या किया था?
Okay,
फिर उनके बेटे जो आए 8 साल रह के, उन्होंने क्या किया?
Fine.
सारे वर्ल्ड को ट्रेन में डाल।
let's answer rather
इनको
than-
पूछो, नेक्स्ट टाइम इनको प्रेसिडेंट बनाओ, इनसे पूछो। कहते जी ओबामा ने कुछ नहीं किया।
चलिए, तो आपका क्वेश्चन बिल्कुल अच्छा है।
Fine.
And,
वो इनसे पूछो एक
हाँ,
बात,
ये आपका
Being
सवाल
an American president is not an easy job,
will
sir.
keep
And you know, everybody knows.
absolutely, I agree with
ये
you.
जो
Yeah.
आपस में लड़ रहे हैं, हिलरी हो जाते
Okay, let
So,
me.
ट्रम्प हो,
yeah, I appreciate your.
इनको वोटों में क्या चाहिए? इनको चाहिए इलेक्ट्रिक वोट। इलेक्ट्रिक वोट जो होंगे उनमें जीतेंगे ये लोग।
कौन से वोट होंगे?
जो इलेक्ट्रिक वोट
electoral.
होते हैं।
अच्छा, yeah. I appreciate your call, sir. Let him
Alright.
respond to you. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Now, at NBC, Obama was interviewed. This was only last month, and early October or late September when NBC interviewed him, and they said, "Mr. President, what will you leave as your achievement
Legacy,
of 8
yeah.
terms?" His first, and this is exactly what he counted, and I'm sure Nishant knows it. He said, "I have brought this Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, first achievement. Second achievement, he said, I have brought the LGBT community to recognize their right and given them certain right. Third achievement, I killed Osama bin Laden." That was it.
Oh, there are many more things, and of
No,
course
this
Nishan
is
can
his
talk.
counting.
Yeah, okay, no,
This
no.
is his
See,
own-
How, he doesn't
see,
have a long show. He
yeah.
only had a few minutes to
No,
answer.
no,
No, these were the
No, no, no,
ma-
it was a long show.
But again, these are major.
It was
yeah.
a sit down.
Okay,
It was 1 hour show.
So see, I think the perception brings the kind of color in which we want to see a particular personality's performance, whether it's Obama, Clinton, or Trump, I would say. And let me take one more call,
Now,
and then I'll come
his
to you.
second part of his question about Bush, he was saying.
No, leave that.
Okay.
Let me. Hello, ITV Live. Hello, can you hear us?
Hello, yes.
Oh, how are you?
अशोक जी नमस्ते।
नमस्ते. Briefly बताइए क्या कहना चाहते हैं आप?
ओ मिस्टर ट्रम्प को आपने टीवी में बता रहे,
जी.
बहुत अच्छा मुझे लगता है, उसको हमेशा ही बताते रहो, राइट?
अच्छा.
बट मिस्टर ट्रम्प वो ऐसे है, वो प्रेसिडेंट की एक एजुकेशन नहीं है उसके पास। दूसरी बात है, इधर के जो ऑडियंस है पब्लिक उसको अंडरस्टैंडिंग नहीं हो रहा है। दूसरी नंबर 3, वो फॉरेन कंट्री में जो इससे हिलरी बात कर सकते वो नहीं कर सकते, राइट? नंबर 4, वो बिजनेसमैन नहीं है, वो स्मगलर है, राइट? वो अच्छा
चलिए 4 काफी हो गया आज आप.
सुनो,
नहीं बहुत है. हम उसको जेल नहीं पाएंगे. Thank you very much. But since we have just 4 minutes, that's why I wanted to wind it up, and let's invest 2-3 minutes on Obamacare. Obamacare, which President Barack Obama claims to be a great milestone achievement, is turning out to be something which is
Of a nightmare.
which is putting voters away from Hillary, because they fear if in Arizona it's going to be 116% rise in the premiums. Everywhere people are finding it unaffordable. It is rather than it would become
Unaffordable
to
care act.
unaffordable. So how do you see that? And it's a very serious affair. Many people who otherwise don't like Trump, but they dislike Obamacare so much that they are going to vote for him.
Mm-hmm. Why was the Affordable Care Act important in the first place? Our economy was spending 18 cents on the dollar on healthcare, and we were getting less than mediocre results. So with a bipartisan Congress, predominantly actually Democrat, President Obama pushed to decrease the amount of expenditures that we're putting towards healthcare. Now you have more people insured. You have the least amount of uninsured ever in the history of our country.
They won't be able to afford it down the line. That is the problem.
So now getting to your answer, I just wanted to give that context as to why it even exists in the first place. Getting to your answer, yes, premiums are going up. If you look at the Silver Plan across the country, the premiums on average are going about 22 to 25%.
25%.
Depends on which one you look
That's
at.
average. Average is 25%.
So if you look at it, it's anywhere from like 20. Let's just say 25%. Arizona is taking the biggest increase. Why? Because there's people that are dropping out from the program. But if you look at Mike Pence's state, who happens to be the vice presidential candidate, premiums are actually going down. Why? Because there are more people that are coming into the marketplace over there. So it's not an equal distribution. On average, it's going up by 25%. And if you look at 77% of the participants in Obamacare, they'll actually pay less with all the subsidies that are provided in the program itself. This is not my knowledge. This is coming from Bloomberg Business Week. So this is
if
not
I
anything
have-
partisan.
If
So
I have the opportunity
yeah.
to briefly sum up Obamacare,
Yeah.
I would think and say that Bill Clinton is perhaps a learned man. Perhaps he has some knowledge of policy, some understanding of what it is, and he said this is a crazy policy.
Let's put him in the White House.
This is the crazy thing in the
This
world.
is the craziest policy possible. This is the understanding of Obamacare of Bill Clinton. If he is a learned man, if he believes something, if he understands,
Okay, I will
Well,
make my
that is what it is.
Another reason
Just-
to put the
just 30
Clintons in the White
seconds.
House.
The only style that Obama had in the White House is push, force. He did not care about what Americans want. He did not care about what Congress wants. He only cared about what he wants in every regard, whether it was LGBT, it was Obamacare, it was Cuba, or it was Iran. I still go really mad when I think we loaded planes full of cash and we sent it to Iran. Who the hell in the world
talking about
will be
healthcare.
doing such
we're talking
such
about-
no
We're talking about healthcare.
No,
No,
you moved away.
no, I'm
and,
just telling you.
He made a point.
It's because
I
Trump
agree
doesn't
with
have a
This
you.
is
plan.
what Obama
Trump doesn't have a plan
No,
for healthcare, and this is why you're talking pivoting to Iran.
Obama-
And that makes,
No,
that's fine.
Obama will be remembered for so many things, but history is going to tell Obama's 8 years were the worst year in the American history.
We will see what happens, and I would
Only-
have you say 2 lines about Obama the way you see him.
I see Obama very positively. We went from losing 800,000 jobs a month to now gaining jobs in the neighborhood of 225,000. Our economy is growing again. Our wages are up for the first time. We're at the lowest poverty rate since 1970. So, and home ownership is actually up 23%.
So there are-
we have 370 economists and 8 Nobel laureates that are endorsing the Obama plan as well as the Clinton plan, including famous economists like Kenneth Arrow and Stiglitz. I don't know how who's
Nishant,
endorsed the Trump
Nishant,
plan here.
there is a time which is coming, and that is 8th November. And you should not stay home because you don't like this or that candidate, or because you don't like both these candidates. Be a part of the process of selecting, electing the next commander-in-chief for America. Whether you dislike Trump or you dislike Hillary, whether you like Hillary or you like Trump, it is your duty as an American to be a part of this great nation by contributing to the democratic process. And I appreciate your presence and valuable insight, Nishant, Jagdeep ji, and Professor Amar.
बस
Thank you very
बाकी
much
तो 8 तारीख
for
को जो जीता वो सिकंदर.
being with us.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And on that note, wishing a great America for all of us as it is, and may it continue to grow. Thank you very much for joining us.